Welcome back to UKSG Red 2024, raising money for Crisis. We are live here in Glasgow, Scotland. It is 5:31 in the morning. Welcome to the morning shift, and what better way to get started than with Draiga running Bioshock. Draiga, take it away.
Okay, hi everyone, I am Draiga. This is Bioshock. I'm going to be running any percent. Bioshock has quite a long intro. To avoid that, we make a save file as soon as we gain control, and that's what I'm going to be loading. And I guess I'll just start time as soon as I load the save. So I'll do that in 3, 2, 1, and go. So, we start off here in the crash site. We've just been involved in a plane crash, but thankfully for us there was this handy dandy lighthouse that we're going to be swimming towards right now. So this is the intro to the game. This game gets off to a bit of a slow start, unfortunately, but it picks up very rapidly after this. Yeah, so this is the lighthouse. Right now, we don't know what much about what's going on. The first small skip of the game is coming up here, and I'm hoping I don't mess it up, because I kind of need it to talk through the intro. I'm going to be jumping just before I interact with this. Nice. I'm jumping out of the bathysphere, and what that does, you can see I'm sort of on top of the bathysphere now and not in it properly. And I still have to watch the intro, unfortunately, but this saves about 2 or 3 seconds because the loading area for the next level, you hit it, it's above you as the bathysphere moves upwards, and so because our model is on top of the bathysphere now, we hit it about 2 or 3 seconds faster, but it has the added benefit of the fact that normally you're stuck in this bathysphere and you're only meant to have a limited view of what's going on. We have a full 360 view of everything that's going on right now during the intro. So talking right now, that's Andrew Ryan. He's a lovely chap. He's absolutely excellent, and I'm sure nothing bad has happened to his city Rapture, which we are, well, you can see glimpses of already. We're about to have the big infamous reveal of Rapture, which is an underwater city. Andrew Ryan has built it to sort of escape from society and you know, as a sort of haven for science and culture to sort of thrive in. As I said, I'm sure absolutely nothing as bad has happened in the meantime, and Rapture is a lovely and wonderful place to be. So this is the big infamous reveal of Rapture proper. As I said, because we have a full 360 view here, we can see things that the developers didn't want you to see, such as the fact that a lot of tunnels just don't go anywhere. I can't see it right now. This tunnel just doesn't go anywhere. That's a big daddy. They're the sort of protectors, protectors of the little sisters, which we're not going to be seeing a lot of in the speedrun. In fact, we're not going to be seeing a lot of the big daddies either. Again, over there, you can see there's another tunnel. It just doesn't lead into anything. Developers didn't want you or intend you to actually see all of this. And over there, that whale also just stops once it moves out of view of the bathysphere. On the radio right now is, what's his name? Atlas, who again, I'm absolutely lovely. I'm sure has absolutely no devious motivations whatsoever. Okay.
One more minute. Spear's coming up now. Johnny, security's banging off all over. Get a move on.
So the game starts off with a very sort of a horror aesthetic, horror vibe, and it's most evident here. That's Johnny. He's the best character in the game, and unfortunately doesn't have a good fate. Good fate in store for him. You can see here, it's kind of hard to see, but the blood here, it's meant to have come from Johnny, obviously, but it's actually on the inside of the bathysphere here. And it's quite hard to see with this, but yeah. It's not actually, blood wasn't put on the outside of the bathysphere where it obviously logically should be. I don't know what's going on with the flickering. Okay. I don't know what that was. That's not an intended part of the game.
Would you kindly pick up that shortwave radio? I don't know how you survived that plane crash, but I've never been one to question problems.
Yeah, so we get introduced to Atlas proper here.
To keep you alive. Now keep
And at least ostensibly for right now, he is our guide and main helper throughout the game.
step out of the bathysphere. I won't leave you twisting in the wind.
Yeah. So I said, game gets off to a fairly slow start. It's going to pick up very rapidly from here. We have our next big trick just after this. You're meant to pick up the Electrobolt plasmid at this point and watch a fairly lengthy cutscene. We are not going to be doing that. We are going to be doing a trick so that we can get out of the cutscene. As you're about to see, after I kill this splicer. That just gets it so that we can move up these stairs. So I'm going to be interacting with the Electrobolt and then quick saving just beforehand. This means that we pick it up, that we open the menu on the same frame that we interact with it, which lets us save load and then gain control during the cutscene. So you can see there are black bars right at the top of the screen, and that's because the cutscene's playing out in the background. But it also has the added benefit that the game is trying to drag us back towards where the cutscene is, and the only way we can actually make any progress towards moving away from it is by jumping constantly, which is what I'm doing. I have jumped down to a scroll wheel on my mouse, so that I can just do a quick scroll wheel and continue jumping. Ooh. If you hit anything, any sort of tiny object, when you find anything like that on the ground, you get sent flying backwards. And this elevator can also be quite difficult to get into. That's okay. So, yeah, all the time the black bars on the top and bottom of the screen, we'll be stuck in that initial room where we picked up Electrobolt, and so despite the fact that we've got to jump everywhere and you get it sent back, this saves multiple minutes over watching that cutscene because it's an extremely lengthy cutscene.
Go to Neptune's bounty. Find my family, please.
There we go. So just now, now that the cutscene is over, would we be exiting that room? Right. So again, you're meant to have a sort of story sequence here where the game forces you to take your weapons away. We can just save load in the area and just take out our weapons anyway.
Careful now. Would you kindly hold that weapon for a minute? You think that's a child down there? Don't be fooled. She's a little sister now. Somebody went and turned a sweet baby
Okay,
girl into a
we're going to have a fight here. So I'm just going to Electrobolt that water, which kills the enemies instantly. And really hope I don't miss this shot. Lovely. Okay, and I'm also going to be damaging myself. That's a setup for a trick in the next level, where I'm going to be doing a death warp. So I'm going to be taking damage now to prepare for that. And that'll do. And finally here, there's a, again, in the next room, you're meant to have a fairly lengthy story bit where you introduce Andrew Ryan proper. There's a, what's assumed to be a developer trick left in here, where you can just Electrobolt the door and it activates it, so you don't actually have to watch the cutscene. That doesn't work for every door in the game, it just works for that one in particular, but it does mean we can skip that cutscene. Okay. So now, here's where things get really interesting. This is among the more difficult tricks in the game. That hacking sequence there, if you close and reopen the game, that hacking sequence is always the same, so you can solve it very quickly. This splicer would like to be following me. Okay. Okay, we're going to be setting up the first splicer wall clip here, which is basically, you can sort of see what we're going for. You can use splicers and get on the heads and then use them to clip through walls. And this one is quite particular and quite difficult compared to the others, because we don't yet have telekinesis. There we go. We're going to use this to pick up telekinesis, and this is where we do the death warp, because by doing that, we skip ever having to pick up incinerate, which you're meant to be forced to pick up. We never pick it up in the speed run, which is why we have to death warp to get out of that room. And we're back here now. And we're now actually fully set up for the entire game in terms of plasmids. You're going to see telekinesis. Telekinesis is famously broken casually. It is insanely broken in the speed run. Yeah. So getting on Splicer's heads lets us clip through walls, and we're going to be combining that now with telekinesis to kill the splicer, and then you're meant to, well, that's what we want to go through, and you're usually meant to have to go through a long quest line to get that door open, but because I have the splice body and telekinesis, I just use the splice body, and, come on. Come on. There we go. Throw it against that wall and clip right through. Actually, I need to make a save here. Okay. Yep, so wall clips were found relatively recently, and they've somewhat broken the game wide open. The world record before was 40, somewhere in the range of 40-ish minutes. The world record now is a low 25 minutes. This game has, wall clips have saved a huge amount of time, because what this game loves to do is it loves to show you where you're meant to go to, the sort of objective, but then say, actually no, you need to go do these 10 other things before you can actually reach the end of the level. Of course, with wall clips now, well, we can just clip right through to the end of the level sometimes, and we're going to be doing that again here. It should be noted, to get onto a splicer like this, you have to sort of walk onto them from a level plane. You can't just jump onto the head, so particular setups have been found. Oh, am I still on the body? Yes, okay. You have to walk onto the splicer from the same sort of level, so setups have been found to do that on most levels. So again, here's a door. You're meant to go through a long quest line. I'm just going to clip right through it, so I don't ever have to do that quest line in this level. Okay. That's a radio skip. This game, whenever it's playing a radio message, you can just play an audio diary instead, and it skips whatever was playing. So again, because we don't have Incinerate here, there's ice here that you're meant to melt to be able to finish the level, so we're going to have to get a little bit clever about how we do that. I set a splicer on fire here, and then I'm going to use the burning body to instead melt the ice. As I said, we don't have Incinerate, never picked up in the last level, and so that's what we have to do to melt the ice. Here, I never actually picked up the shotgun. Part of this level is you have to submit your weapons to gain access to the fights. I've never picked up the shotgun or the grenade launcher before, but the game just gives you the weapons it thinks you should have at this point in the game to you. So even though I never picked up the shotgun, never picked up the grenade launcher before, the game just gives it to you. Okay, those were two of the more intensive levels. Things are a bit more relaxed for now, thankfully. It's once again meant to be a fairly long cutscene here, but we can just save here and then activate the trigger for it and just walk out through the door before it actually closes on us, so we never actually have to see that story sequence there. Oh, also that's Atlas's model in the game, which you never meant to see in the game, but if you want to, you can have a look at Atlas's model there. Yeah, so that's another example of playing a radio diary to skip a audio message, because the game doesn't let you leave a level until radio messages are finished, so we can just play an audio diary and just skip that. Right. This is the level where the next major trick of the Rhino introduced, which are flings, which is on high frame rates, using telekinesis on an object will throw you right up into the air, which you're about to see. Like that. So that is frame rate dependent. On the higher your frame rates, the higher the fling you get. I'm actually limiting my FPS because with modern PCs, the frame rates you can get and the flings you can get are kind of insane, and it can actually be detrimental with some of the later flings to have too high an FPS. It makes them too difficult actually, so I'm limiting my FPS to avoid that. That fling I just did saves maybe 5 seconds, it's not a huge deal. This one is a much bigger deal. I'm going to be setting up here, saving, and doing a fling. So it doesn't actually look like I flinged over anything there, but you're meant to be doing a quest line here to save where all of the trees are going to be killed in Rapture. And so in that room, there's both a look trigger and a physical trigger to activate that quest line. So by looking down in that room, I never activate the look trigger, and then I fling over the physical trigger. And so we never actually do that quest line, and we just walk straight through the door. This is Fort Frolic. It's probably the most iconic level of the game. And, you know, it's where, what's his name? Sandy Cohen's is introduced. And I can't wait to see what sort of wacky hijinks we're going to be getting up to in this level. I'm going to set this up. Ooh. Oh, I actually made the fling, but I'm going to fling up onto this invisible wall here. I'm going to jump. And then, where is it? There you are. And activate the end of level trigger. So that's all we see of Fort Frolic in the speedrun. What happens is that the bathysphere that's meant to be there, the model for it goes away, but we can still just activate the end of level trigger. And so, yeah, that's all we see of Fort Frolic in the speedrun. Yeah. This is an example of, again, needing for particular setups for splicers. I would like you to die. Okay, this splicer, we're going to be taking them on a bit of an adventure throughout the level, so we can set them up for a splicer wall clip. In fact, I'm also going to skip this message. Yeah, because of all of the sequence breaking and stuff we do, the audio message in this game can get a bit messed up at times. So yeah, going to be taking this splicer on an adventure over here, so I can set up for a splicer surf. Oh, where are you? Come on. So, again, that's the end of the level over there. Usually, you have to go on a big, long quest line to build a bomb so you can get through the wall. game doesn't know that we have a splicer, and can just go right through the wall. And activate the end of level trigger. C. RCC. So far we've been using radio messages, or we've been using audio diaries to skip radio messages. We're going to be doing the opposite in this level. I played a radio message right at the beginning of this level, and that's so that we can actually remain in this level for a little bit, and then I'm going to play an audio diary later on, so that we can exit the level a little bit prematurely. It's going to look odd, but it's all done so that we can skip the infamous plot twist of this game. Fairly recently, a way to skip this level even more was found using a security bot to clip through a wall. That is extremely difficult, and only one runner has done it successfully thus far, so I'm not going to be attempting it. That's why we do this. I activated the cutscene there, and then just before doing that, I played an audio diary, walked into the cutscene, so it's pushed us back into the previous level. But the cutscene is activated now, so I can go back into the level, and that cutscene's still going to be playing, and so we skip that cutscene, and we gain control essentially during that cutscene by doing this. And again, fairly lengthy cutscene, so even though it's a bit of a sort of palaver, it still saves a lot of time. This is I need this object because so we skipped one part of the cutscene. There's a second part of the cutscene, but by activating the first part of the cutscene, you're about to see, this gate gets put down, but you can see there's a gap just above the gate, and so we're going to be taking this object and setting up. Come on, it doesn't want to cooperate. I can probably make that work. I'm flinging right through the top of the gate, and then save loading in the second part of the cutscene that lets us gain control during that. And activating the infamous would you, no, not the would, yes, this is the would you kindly reveal of the game, yeah. Where, shock, it turns out Atlas is not who he said it was. Turns out he was actually Fontaine the entire time. You can still see here, the cutscene's still playing out. You can actually watch it in its entirety if you want to. I'm just going to be going to the end of the level, because I said it's a fairly lengthy cutscene.
Draiga, I hope you won't mind if I jump in with a quick donation that we've had come in.
Go right ahead.
We have had a $10 donation come in from our very own Nanaki Emmy, who says, "Good morning from UKSG, chat. Would you kindly please donate to help us raise some cash for an awesome cause? Good luck, Draiga, with this amazing game." And that has gone towards the Save the Animals incentive for Super Metroid Any Percent Old Route.
Yeah, I was going to hand it to you over here, because, anyway, because, well, we have some audio diaries to skip, and so I can skip 3 of these, and then the 4th message is going to play here, but we're waiting for these little sisters to move, and they're on a timer, so skipping this doesn't actually save any time. And so, if you have anything more you want to say, now's the time for it.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Well, don't forget, you are watching the United Kingdom Speedrunner Gathering, a 2-day speedrunning marathon, coming to you live from Glasgow, Scotland, and we are raising money to support Crisis, a charity supporting people out of homelessness for the good. They achieve this through education, training, and support with housing, employment, and health. 90% of your donations will go towards supporting Crisis, and 10% go towards UKSG's future events. A little bit more about what they do in their own words. So Crisis is the national charity for homeless people committed to ending homelessness. Every day they see the devastating impact that homelessness has on people's lives. Every year they work side by side with thousands of homeless people to help them rebuild their lives and leave homelessness behind for good. Crisis knows that homelessness is not inevitable, and we know that together we can end it.
Okay. So this level, like Arcadia and like Farmer's Market, which we never actually saw in the speedrun, is coupled with another level called Apollo Square. Unlike Farmer's Markets, we can't entirely skip this level because we start out in it, but what we can do is just walk straight to the end of it and exit it. We're meant to be finding two, I'm not sure what the word is, two serums, I suppose, so that we can get rid of Fontaine's control properly. But the actual way to move past this sort of section of the game is in this level, and so we just walk straight into this level. And we're going to be setting up the splicer stuff here. This one looks very strange because we're going to be going through no player zones, which, as the name implies, is places the game doesn't intend us to go. And so the camera doesn't follow through the no player zones, but our model still does go through it. And so it's going to sort of look like we're just teleporting straight through them. You'll see what I mean once I actually do it to my body. There we go. Cool. Okay. So we're going to be taking this splicer on a bit of an adventure throughout the map. We're going to be going out of bounds like that tonight. Where am I? Going to be going through that wall. And then throwing the splicer body through here. So you can see that it looks like I just teleported right through that area, but what happens is my model is still attached to the splicer, and so once the splicer passes through that area, my camera sort of snaps back to it, and so yeah, as I said, it's one of the more bizarre looking splicer stuffs in the run, but it's very useful because by doing that, we have found ourselves right at the end of level trigger. And they're taking more damage to set up for another death warp here. So we're stuck in the this bathysphere at the beginning of this level, but you can just kill yourself and exit it a little bit prematurely. And there's going to be setting up a fling here. I'm going to be flinging on top of this wall and then jumping on top of this.
What is this you wait for? Go and get this idiot!
And that just skips the trigger, so we don't have to wait. Usually you have to wait behind that for the bots here to break it. This is called the Last Chance Kid. You're meant to be sort of stuck on a get stuck on a trigger here, which I just did. But by jumping in a particular spot, you can avoid that trigger and then just walk through the door before it closes, which is very useful because the end of level trigger is right there, and so we just skip that entire level as well. I see. This is the final proper level of the run, and it's unfortunately the most difficult of the run. Many a good Bioshock speedrun has come here to die. It has a lot of good memes, a lot of difficult bits, and unfortunately can soft lock, so I'm going to be making safety saves throughout it. But to start off with, aggro the splicer. Ooh. And set up for a splicer stuff.
Must have taken the B-grade plastic.
Come on. It doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. And then use the splicer body to fit right through that wall. So the deal with this level is that you're meant to be escorting a little sister throughout the level and doing 3 fights doing it. We're currently skipping straight to the 3rd fight. And by the way, this ashtray, you put it on this sofa here, and that is the perfect height to get right into the splicer. Set up for another splicer stuff. Yeah. So we could just clip right into the final room of the level, but we have to finish the final fight before we can actually activate the trigger to leave the level. And so we're currently skipping straight to the final fights of the level. Ah man, come on. This stuff's pretty annoying because there's a sculpture in the room, and if you hit any of it, you just get knocked off the body. There we go. And I'm actually going to save here. And use the body to clip through the wall. Okay, so we've activated the little sister, and we've skipped 2 of the 3 fights you're meant to do. We still have the 3rd fight to go, but we're going to be somewhat skipping past the 3rd fight as well, as you'll see. And this is where the good means begin for this level. Okay. Actually, I'm going to make another hard save here. Cool. Okay, I'm going to be setting up one of the more annoying tricks in the run. I'm going to be shooting a proximity mine against the wall here and then waiting for the little sister. And then shooting a proximity mine at a particular point to hopefully get the little sister stuck in the wall. So now the little sister has stopped moving, and the game registers that as sort of being that the little sister is at the point where the fight is beginning. And so the game activates the fight here. And hopefully, an added benefit, this has the immediate benefit of activating the fight a little bit early, but lovely. The little sister also gets stuck on an enemy head here. And so, I can kill the enemy and throw the little sister out of bounds. And what that does is it despawns the little sister, which means that once I finish this fight, the game fully registers that the fight is over, because otherwise the little sister would still be in bounds, and the game wouldn't actually register that we could finish the level, because the little sister needs to be despawned for us to be able to finish the level. Make another hard save. I did that first try. That trick has killed so many puns. It can be very inconsistent and very, very annoying. The buffer you have to shoot the proximity mine in the correct time is, I think, 3 frames to get it a 100% consistent setup. And even if you have a good setup, it can just fail sometimes for no reason. As I said, everybody loves proving grounds. Okay, I've kept this splicer alive on purpose. So I'm going to be using him for another devices there. You see here, that's what I mean about you have to walk onto the splicer at their exact level, because otherwise you just bounce off their heads like that. Okay. And I'm just going to check, I'm pretty sure I've killed every enemy. Yes, okay. And use the splicer to go on a bit of an adventure. And fall off right at the end. I keep on falling off right at the end. Okay, let's just save here. And then, now that we've completed, quote unquote completed, the final fight, the end of level trigger is now active, and so we can now use the splice body and clip the door into the final room. As I said, we could do this right from the beginning, but we can't actually activate the end of the level until we've completed the final fight.
Fontaine waits above. There will be no going back from here. Make sure you are ready to face him before.
Okay, and this is the final boss of the run. I say boss in the speed run. Thankfully, it is incredibly easy. The deal with the fight is that Fontaine is going to be jumping down at a particular point or at a particular area of the map. That point is consistent, and so we can just set up proximity mines beforehand, and 3 of them is enough to deal with all of its phases.
And that's why this hurts. Betrayal, kid. Life ain't strictly business.
So set up 3 proximity mines. Stab Fontaine. Set up 3 more proximity mines, and then stab Fontaine again. We only have 6 proximity mines, you can't carry any more. And it takes 3 to kill him per phase, so the final phase we are going to be switching to just normal grenades. And then after this phase is when time is going to end, so just 3 grenades. And then that is the time right there. Yeah, that was Bioshock 20%. It's a really, really cool run. As I said, this game's been blown wide open after all clips were found. Shout out to, I believe it was KPC Zombie who found them. Shout out to, I don't know everybody, Prisoner, shout out to Reed, shout out to, those are the main other people that have found strats recently. Yeah, shout out to the entire community. Very, very cool run. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Draiga. Thank you for that run of Bioshock 80% there. Stick around with us. We'll be coming back very shortly. I've got one more donation to read before I end my hosting shift for the morning. We've got a $10 donation coming from Paulister, who says, well, since Emmy asked so nicely, and that is very true, that has gone towards the Save the Animals incentive. Stick around. Coming up after this break, it is that very person himself. It's Paulister, who will be running Star Wars Jedi Survivor after this short intermission.